this virus, 70% is where we want to get to.
But is it truly 7-0 or is it 6? You know, is it 6-8.9?
Yeah.
Is it,
Yeah.
Is it whatever it is? Ready? Are you guys ready? You guys ready? Here we go. We're already on YouTube. Let's just record this in case I want to do a podcast with this. So we'll do it like that. Recording in progress.
Yes, she said the recording is in progress.
right.
I'm listening.
And
Hey,
we
welcome
shall
everybody.
continue.
And we have a
Welcome,
special
everybody.
guest in the room. Nathan Keogh is here.
Yes, welcome everybody to the roundtable. You know, SoundBroker presents the roundtable. I'm thinking of changing the name to maybe Roundtable to Lunch with SoundBroker for those people on the West Coast, and those people on the East Coast, they could have a later lunch. You know, that's it. You know, save your lunch, eat with us. You know, I always like. You know, it's a funny thing about how popular restaurants are, right? You go to a restaurant and everybody wants to eat, but when you watch somebody eat, it's really disgusting anyway, no matter how you look at it. We had a
You know what I don't like is I especially don't like to hear people eat. That disgusts me. Sorry.
Yeah, I got to take out my you know, so you don't make that kind of noise. That's where it's at. Anyway, welcome to the meeting, the roundtable, where we to discuss how current events are affecting our industry. It's an open forum. Just remember this: that everything you hear today is opinion. Do your own resource checking to make sure that what we're saying is accurate. And we come every week at Wednesday at noon, and we're going to discuss that as well. Maybe we could change the time because I'm not married to 12 noon. We could change it around, but we'll talk about it. I think everybody that's in the room right now is on the West Coast. I don't see any East Coast people that I know of, but it's early. Usually people think that if you have an appointment at 12:05, you know, 12:10 is just acceptable to arrive. So I'm sure more people will be coming in as we go. The other thing that I could say is that we encourage you to express your opinions and talk about what's on your mind and regarding to how it affects you and the industry. And of course, we're very concerned about everybody's mental health, so that if you really, if you need to express something that is on your mind, this is the perfect forum to do it, because it's a very safe space, because we're all in that same boat. Anyway, welcome everybody. So our producer today is Ken Newman, directed by, I don't know.
Well, the thing is, so the reason you're hearing these sound effects is because I've got this whole thing prepared for my little Live Sound Summit talk, and I've got a bunch of sound effects for that. Plus, I've got a bunch of sound clips for that. So that's why I have sound effects on my thing.
When are you doing the Sound Summit?
Sunday, the 13th at 10:30 Pacific.
Very good. Congratulations. If we ever needed a sound of applause, that would be it right now, you know?
Yeah.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
I just went through my presentation with Nathan, who's putting on the summit, and he approved. So that's a good start, right?
Yeah. Come on
And
down is what they say. Come on down. That was Monty Hall, right? For those
Yeah.
people who are older than me that you remember. By the way, this is the 55th one of the roundtable, 55th, which is pretty amazing. That's more than a year. And in honor of the 55th anniversary, I want you to know that we missed it, but on June 4th was National Dunkin' Donut Free Donut Day. So in case you didn't get that, next year, put it in your calendar that it's probably going to be on June 4th, when they're going to have it. And of course, on June 1st, I want to wish Marilyn Monroe a happy 95th birthday. Marilyn Monroe turned 95 if she was alive. Kenny, what are you showing us? Do you have a Marilyn Monroe poster in your room?
Yeah, isn't that her? I can't.
It looks like
line
your
it up
finger
right,
to
but
me.
Is that right above my finger? Isn't that Marilyn Monroe?
Could be.
I can't zoom in. Sorry, actually, I
definitely
could
is.
zoom in. Okay, there you go. Okay,
That's it, yeah.
it's not mine. It's Cheryl's. But
Yeah, well,
she
very
likes
good,
that
yeah.
poster, so yeah.
And
Do you
in
have
honor
any
of her birthday, and David would remember this. Remember that show Smash that was on what was it? What was it on NBC?
Yeah.
And that was about they decided to do a Marilyn Monroe story. If you haven't seen that show Smash, I don't know where to get it, but I'm sure if you Google it online, if you like Broadway musicals, that show is phenomenal.
Mark Shaman was one of the writers, and I think the show within the show was called Bombshell.
Bombshell, that's correct, yes.
And Megan Hilty and David Foster's girlfriend. wife.
Oh, really? She married the Kelly McPherson? Is that her name?
No.
No, not Kelly McPherson. Oh, I just remembered her. I can't remember her name now. I just got mental block.
Yeah, it's like McPherson.
McPhee. She won You Got Talent. Mary's Got Talent.
Oh, yeah, right. That one. No, she didn't. Wait, you're talking about his wife now?
Yeah.
David, yeah, right.
How many wives does he have? Well, how many wives does the guy have?
5.
David Foster has had many wives, but right now he's married to a young lady, and they even have a kid together now.
Right.
His daughters are older than his wife right now.
Right. She's from LA. She's a singer. She was on like The Voice or American Idol.
Yeah. McPhee was her name, right? McPhee was her name.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Catherine
Yeah,
McPhee.
Catherine McPhee,
Catherine
right?
McPhee,
You know,
right, thank
she's
you.
really wonderful in it.
He's married to McPhee?
Yes,
Yeah.
he got married a year or two ago. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Damn, unbelievable. Wow.
Powerhouse
I don't-
couple, right?
Down, boy.
I guess if you can, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, and
Chris is all
now
excited.
in a little while, he'll be able to travel to visit her at supersonic speed because United is going to introduce the Supersonic Jet again. They just bought 15 of companies called Boom. It's an Overture Jet, it's a startup, and they're going to go into service in 2029 with the option of buying 35 more. And it's going to be like the Concorde once again, only this is going to be faster and sleeker. And
But it's a new company that's making it, right? What's the company that's making it? It's like
It's called
Joe's
Boom.
Planes or something. It's called
I
what?
think it's called Boom Overture Jet Company.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, that's crazy. That's insane. Who would fly on that?
I don't know. But
Brand
I'm
new.
glad it's not called Kaboom.
Yeah, right.
Kaboom.
I'm on it. I'll be on it.
Kaboom. Boris and Natasha would fly on that plane for sure. You know, who gets warm up? Moose.
Yeah, Acme
Moose and
flights.
Squirrel. Moose and Squirrel. You know, that's it. Moose and
Hey,
Squirrel.
we fly on a plane called Virgin. Wouldn't you want somebody more experienced than that?
Oh.
Hey, that's a good one.
They
Come on,
made
Ken,
their
hit the sound
reputation in
effect.
other
Hit the
areas
sound
before
effect.
Which one?
Yeah,
do
where
you
was the
want?
sound effect going?
Wah, wah.
Oh, I don't have- I'll have to get the
Yeah,
wah-wah.
Wait. There we are.
There you go.
The show is taking a turn to the right, that's for sure, or maybe a left, but it is definitely taking a turn.
All right, so I have a serious question.
Go
Has
ahead.
anybody thought about or buying an Apple Tag to track their luggage?
Okay, so now the Apple Tag is kind of interesting because they're now in a marketplace that's very competitive with Tile and also with Cube. And in the articles that I've read so far, the Cube and the Tile have more features than the Apple Tag, because and the reality is, like, if you buy the Apple Tag, it's just a circular disc. And what people are now doing are they're drilling a hole in it so that they could put some sort of keychain in it. But Apple is selling the tags, and then if you want to use it in your keychain, then you have to buy their keychain fob. And they also have an Hermes keychain fob where you can really spend some serious bucks on that. So to me,
It's Hermes.
Hermes, there you go, Hermes.
It's Hermes.
I call it
All right,
Hermes
good.
because it has an H in it.
Good for you.
You know, I mean,
Gotta
all right,
keep
so
Jan in line.
that's right. You know, I figure if I can't afford it, I don't have to pronounce it correctly, right? That's it. You know, I can pronounce Rolls Royce though. Okay, there you have it. But, you know, and so I would say to you that the Tile Pro is less expensive and probably offers you more value for your money. But if you're in the Apple ecosystem, then of course you've got to have everything Apple. I mean, let's talk about what Apple just introduced with their new headphones, over-the-ear headphones. They're almost $600. I mean, and they don't really compare to, let's just say, the Sonys. What's the WMX 1000s or the WM1000X, the new ones that are really nice, and then the Bose.
I think the Bose is probably the gold standard when it comes to headphones, isn't it?
Well, actually, I think the Sony is right now because the Sony has more features and is easier to operate. And my research shows me that my next pair of over-the-ear headsets is probably going to be the Sonys, the 1000s. I hear they're pretty good for traveling. And they're the most comfortable. By the way, the other thing about the Apple ones don't come in a case, or they come in a really mock case, and they're made out of metal rather than plastic, so they're much heavier on your ears. And and there's only two controls. It's the crown from the watch that they're using. So,
I hate to say this. I've never been a fan of Apple, but they really upset me when they bought Sonos, because I have Sonos speakers. In my house.
Wait,
newsflash,
They bought
newsflash.
Sonos? When did they buy Sonos?
Oh,
Holy
come on,
shit.
stop
Are you
that.
serious?
Yeah,
Are
they
you
did.
serious?
Yeah.
How long ago?
So now I
Sonos or Beats? Wait a minute. Sonos
Sonos
is owned by Apple?
Yes. So I have to, in order to use the Sonos in my house with their app, I now have to sign up for Apple Music. So now it costs me 90 cents a month.
No, that can't be. Come on.
Yeah.
Somebody Google that.
No, I mean, I have a lot of Sonos stuff installed. Not me personally. In my friends'
I
houses
do.
that I've
I have a
installed.
lot of Sonos.
So I got to look that up.
Hey,
Yeah.
it was embarrassing enough that they bought Beats, man. Jesus, that's like.
Well, Beats, yeah, I could do without Beats, but Sonos
Yeah,
is a
that's
great
terrible
product.
stuff.
So Apple bought Sonos?
From what I understand. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I did not realize that. I did not realize. I mean, I don't know how I missed that. You miss one day of news, and boom, that's what it is. You know, the most
The
important
news
stories.
I watch is the financial news. I'm more into the stock
Well,
market.
Kelly, for what it's worth, let's see. This is an article from July, 2020. It says Apple fails to materialize as Sonos buyer is the first article I get when I got Apple bought Sonos, and then
Well, while you're looking
And then
that up,
in
I want to
November-
tell you one thing about
wow,
Sonos.
that's weird. Oh, thanks, Kelly. I got something to look into now. Thanks.
Okay, there you go.
One thing I will say about Sonos, I own the original Sonos and the Play 5s, which are amazing speakers. And now Sonos just introduced the version 2 of their software, which all the original Sonoses no longer work with the software 2. And I have to use the original software, which is still fine.
And that's
but-
why
Right.
you're getting off the hook of having to sign up for Apple Music in order for your Sonos to work.
I don't buy it, Kelly. I have put in
Okay,
a few
maybe
Sonos
I
devices.
got hooked. Maybe I got hooked on something.
Somehow I'm
I
not
moved-
sure what's going on there, but I'm not seeing articles. I put in a Google search, does Apple own Sonos? And I'm not seeing any results that say it does.
Well,
I'll have
this
to,
is a scoop right now, ladies and gentlemen. You're
but,
getting
um,
a
Next
scoop.
week we'll know.
But I know that the Sonos devices that I've installed, those people are using mostly Spotify as their music source. But you're
I'm
saying
actually-
you were required to sign up for Apple Music for how much a month?
It's 99 cents a month, so it's $1 a month. It's like it kills me. I mean, it's not a lot of money.
Just on
but it's like-
principle. Yeah, just on
Yeah,
principle.
just on principle. Why do
Yeah.
I went out and I spent X amount of dollars to have
Wow.
speakers in everybody's
I
bedroom.
gotta look into that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the Sonos
99
speakers
cents a
and amps
month
are
is a great
fantastic.
price. I am investing in YouTube Music because YouTube Music, basically for $9.99 a month, you get YouTube without any commercials whatsoever, and you get all the access to the music library. And that's why I went with YouTube, because more people are watching YouTube and listening to music on YouTube than Apple. And so I felt that was a better investment. But the Apple Music, I was under the impression, was also $9.99.
It is.
And then Apple also had another program for $25 where you can invest in that, and then you could put all of your own music up on their website, and they would upgrade with the internal tracking. If you had an old record that you had put up, you had streamed up to their cloud, and they recognize the you probably know this. What's the inner tag that music has so that they know where it's coming from? There's an inner tag inside music. I forgot the initials.
Metadata.
Shazam.
Metadata. Well, it's a metadata, but they call it something special.
in the metadata, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
ISRC code. ISRC code.
Yeah. So anyway, so in that regards, if they recognize the metadata that you own this song, then they would upgrade it to a better version, a higher content digital version. So that was really good. But it's exciting. I mean, I'm curious to know what you guys, we might as well talk about it since we brought it up. What headsets do you use when you travel? Do you use over-the-ear headsets, or do you use in-ear, or does anybody use the Apple Pro? Those little white things that you stick in your ear. to listen to music when you're flying?
I listen to
I
movies.
use the Apples.
I don't listen to music. I watch movies when I
What do
fly.
you use, Kelly? Let's start with you. What do you use?
Sennheiser HD 450s.
I wonder why you picked Sennheiser.
Because I worked there years ago,
Electrosonics
and
don't
I
make
play in
them?
a band with one of the guys from Sennheiser, so I got them, you know.
Yeah. Kenny, what are you
Good
using?
choice.
I can't see it, Kenny. What are you using?
That is the Sony WH-1000X-M3.
Yes,
I rather like them.
And those are the ones that I was talking about, but now they have the version 4.
Sure, because I haven't used these for over a year now.
And the version 4 has one feature that I was listening to Marcus on his review, and he says they made one minor change. I can't remember what that change was, but he says it's worth the price of an upgrade, is what he said. Fred, what do you use when you fly? Noise canceling headsets.
My mic on? There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
I had the Bose noise canceling headsets for years, and then one day somehow my iPod went stupid and it played it till 11 and blew out one of the drivers. So I got some clips over the air Bluetooth ones, and I had those for about 3 years. And then all of a sudden I've started noticing like a channel dropout. So I just bought some Raycons. I follow a guy on YouTube called Dustin Smarter Every Day. And he promotes Raycons, so I bought some Raycons.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he?
I love him.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm under Raycons right now.
And you're happy with them?
Yeah, you know the thing I find with them is they seal too well. So when you're sitting in the airport, I have to take one out to hear the announcements and things. You know, with my Bose noise canceling headsets, I just used to hit pause and I could hear everything perfectly. It's just all the background noise was gone away. But I found with the Raycons that they just seal too well, but they sound wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
But they're in the ear. They're not over the ear.
No, they're in ear. Yeah, they're in ear Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And
Noise
they
canceling
run for 8 hours, I think, on a charge.
What I find when I use the in the ear, my inner ear starts to sweat after about an hour or so. And I think there's something about ear fatigue as well. But I was thinking that it's probably better to go with an over the ear because, like, for example, in the Sony, if you just put your hand over the whole cup and then you could hear, right? Is that correct? Isn't that one of the features of the Sony?
You press the button and it basically opens a microphone to your ears. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. And David, what do you use?
I use when I want isolation, I use my ear molds. I fly with those. But a lot of time I'm flying business class, so they provide them for you. You know, for the long flights. When I go to Japan, I just use what I'm given. I try to travel light. So that's something I don't carry.
Ron, what do you use, Ron, up there in Canada? What do you guys got? Let's just go around the room. Everybody just jump in.
I just usually grab whatever's available. I mean, I still have old Fostex headsets from studio days, T10s, I think they were, or T50s or something. So, I mean, I still have those. I use it if I ever think about carrying them, but I'm the same as David. I tend to want to travel as light as possible and just, I'll grab something at the airport or and I'll just throw it away. It's nothing. And usually that kind of stuff I end up losing anyway. So I'll use whatever I can find.
Chris, what about you? You do a lot of flying.
Yeah, no, I used to have the over the ears. I'm just trying to travel light, so I just use iPod Pros, and I got a little hook thing that helps keep them in place.
They're really good. I mean, they are really good as far as if you haven't heard the spatial music on those, they're really exceptional. Also, they really do seal out the outside noise, and there's 3 different functions on them. They are really good.
The transparency and hear everything in the background to the point about announcements at the airport. They work. They're not great. They're by no means the best audio file.
I'm not a fan of how they fit me. I guess I have odd ears, so I'm not a fan of how they fit me. My sister told me she got these Bose's competition for the Apple AirPods, and they have a little piece of plastic that sits in your outer ear. so that
see
it
that,
makes
Ken?
it. What's that? Is that the Bose?
That's a little piece of silicone. I got it.
Oh, you're saying?
Christmas time. I got it for my family as well as myself. It goes
Wait,
through. It goes through.
so that's for the AirPod.
That's for the AirPod Pros or the AirPods.
Oh, interesting.
There, you got little openings for the speakers or the microphones, and it provides a hook that goes right into your ear. And
Oh, that's way better.
Right.
Way
use
better.
these when
Where
I
do you
run.
get that? That's not an
Amazon.
Apple product, is it?
Amazon.
Amazon.
It was
No, they're an add-on. They're like
they
12
were like
bucks,
$5.
12, 15 bucks.
Oh, I'll
yours
have
is
to find that.
Yeah, we can try to
Thanks.
find a link for you. Throw it in the chat. I've been using these Bose. These are the this is the Bose noise cancellation in the ear, and these are quite comfortable. But they're wired.
Yeah, those are the ones. Well, you can get the Bluetooth version of that.
That's right.
Same earpiece, right? But just
Yeah, but
Bluetooth.
I'm thinking of my next investment for my next long trip is going to be the Sonys and the MX4s. Well, having said that, there's good news out there, and the good news is that the employment in the United States has really gotten much better. Unemployment claims are down 50%, and 64% of adults are vaccinated in the United States, and that's really important. And there's so many things going on with vaccination. Like, for example, there's going to be a briefing on COVID-19 economic programs and how to be a vaccine leader in your community if you want to take. And that's going to be tomorrow, June 10th at 2 p.m. And it's going to feature the SBA administrator, Isabella Guzman, and Dr. Kuchar, who's the White House COVID vaccination coordinator. And we'll put a link in the chat on that as well. And then, having said that, summer vacations are back. So travel is almost fully open again for Americans, as the experts say. And by the way, while you're traveling, 3 airlines right now have suspended alcohol service for passenger bad behavior. And that's American, Southwest, and United. They've all suspended their alcohol service. Now,
Yeah,
somebody's
because passengers are out of control these days. I mean, everybody, all the passengers, of course, have pent up anger from having to wear masks for the entire flight, and so they're taking it out on the flight attendants and the other passengers. And it's just ridiculous, the things that you see in the news about what passengers are doing these days. You know, they're storming the cockpit and fighting with the flight attendants and on with the passenger issues. It's horrible.
Seems like just a normal day in Iraq, or Afghanistan. I mean, but this is America, and it's amazing that what's going on. Are flights back in Canada, Ron? Are there people flying? I guess they're not, because he's not saying anything.
Either that.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
Sorry. No, I mean, we're not accepting any flights into Toronto. All the international flights got stopped. Every flight that was coming in, people were getting off. Every flight had like half the flight was COVID. And so the government finally said, that's it. Flights from anywhere are suspended. Our border is still closed. They're talking about opening it to the U.S. possibly on the 20th of this month. But for right now, it's still closed. So, I mean, we're getting there. I mean, we're into.
Is there any sign that they'll say you can come in if you're vaccinated?
Yeah, I mean, those are all just stuff that they're trying to figure out right now. I mean, we don't have. I mean, they're talking about that, but again, like in a lot of U.S. places, we don't have a stamp on our passport, or there's no provisions for that happening. Like they've talked about it, but no one's actually done anything. So right now, I mean, you carry around your little card that you get when you get your final vaccination. You can carry that around, but they're basically saying that for the most part, you're not going to be able to get on anything or do anything unless you've been fully vaccinated.
Yeah. Now, aren't they opening your country on the 20th? Didn't I hear that somewhere?
In Canada here? Well,
yeah.
They're gonna look at it again. They've looked at it every month since this thing has started, and there's a lot of pressure from the U.S. to open the border. So I mean, I think there's more of a chance of it opening this time than not. I mean, our cases are really low. Michigan's wide open. Michigan's open to events and concerts with no restrictions at all. So, I mean, I don't know why we're still, our lockdown is finished on Friday. This Friday, we go into the next stage of, 10 people in here and 25 people are allowed in here. And like, we're still into that kind of stuff. Our cases are low. We're down to like 8 cases a day here in where we are. And it's mostly Toronto that's still the problem child. But even that compared to Florida or Texas or anything like that, we're like a few hundred. That's what we're doing, and they're still considering that to be fairly high. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping that it gets open soon because otherwise, us production guys are going to lose a whole season again. We're going to lose. We're going to end up at the beginning of September, maybe with a few crumbs, and then we're into the winter again. So
I'm sorry to hear that. So what about the vaccination? How is your country doing with vaccination? Here in America, we're up to over 64%. And for those that weren't joining us on YouTube and Facebook earlier, Ken Newman's got a chart that we're going to share. But let me hear from Ron first about what's the vaccination thing going on over there.
We're at 70. We're at like 71 or something with, based on the first dose happening. And then from the second dose, we're quite low. But
yeah. So if you look at the chart and, on your screen right now, it seems that, 56% of Americans, I wonder if that's with one shot or two.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it says one. Let's see. It says members of the U.S. population who have received at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Notice how that chart, that graph is leveling out, though. It's really almost horizontal now. So the thing is, I have it sorted right now by percent of population vaccinated, so that the most vaccinated state is at the top. That's Alaska, and then New Hampshire, Republic of Palau, Vermont, Alabama, Massachusetts, and then the least one, let's see what the least one is, just out of curiosity. The least one is Mississippi at 35%. Okay, there you go. It stands to reason. I think it's been politicized to the max, and it just sucks.
Yeah, it is. It's funny, about the vaccination is where there are people that are anti-vax. And once again, Kenny Newman had, you can take that down, Ken. Basically, he had this great thing, a great response when someone says to you, well, you're going to get Alzheimer's or whatever, you can get sick or people have died from it. I'm not going to take a chance. I'm going to wait, And then Ken had this post where someone compared it to food. Well, you've eaten food, right? Yeah. And you've gotten sick sometimes, right? And people have died from eating bad food and, on and on and on. Ken, maybe you could elaborate on that.
Yeah, let me try to find that.
Yeah. And so I thought it was very, very funny from a standpoint of view because it takes it to the absurd, because there are two functions in this country, two factions in this country. One faction, believes like myself, let's get that vaccine. And if I get Alzheimer's, I won't remember anyway. So what's the difference? At least I'll live. It's like that old joke, which I can't tell on this show. But, anyway, doctor calls this guy. It says, hey, your wife just left the office and I can't mixed up her chart. And I'm not sure if she has Alzheimer's or she has venereal disease. So if she comes home, don't have sex with her. Okay, there you go. That was the joke. But let's go on. You find that with the food?
You need that crowd applause right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now I'm used to silence.
There you go.
Thanks. That was good. And speaking of which, while we're applauding, Anheuser-Busch just announced that their biggest beer giveaway ever. They will be giving away free beer once 70% of all Americans are vaccinated. And what we're doing here in this country is amazing, how we're enticing people to get vaccinated by giving them tickets to the lottery, giving them free cars, all of this stuff. I'm curious to know, in the South and in Tennessee, are they doing anything, Ken, at all to get people vaccinated other than discouraging them?
Well, they do, shot for a shot, stuff like that in bars and stuff like that. The bigger one is Vanderbilt's threatening people, if you're not vaccinated, you're terminated. And that's become an interesting legal issue starting now. Is how should they know, whatever, in HIPAA, or should they be legal to, and should an employer be responsible for an employee?
I would remind you that HIPAA is only the distribution of that information amongst people that you don't want to have it. And by the way, whether you're vaccinated or not is not HIPAA protected. HIPAA is the personal information that you don't want to have distributed. But anyway, go ahead.
But the question is it legal, in liability? So if you as an employer tell an employee that you have to be vaccinated in order to stay working here, and then the employee gets vaccinated and he has a reaction, the vaccine company is not liable, the government is not liable, but the employer that told him he had to have it to stay working is.
Well, I have a solution for that. In other words, instead of giving out, if you want to get the South vaccinated and you want to get those people that, that are anti-vaxxers, I think for everyone who gets 2 vaccinations, they should get a free handgun. Get 2 vaccinations and get a free handgun. Because listen to this. In the United States, in the first 5 months of 2021, gun sales surged 26%. And this number is staggering to 19,188,494 guns. The increase is part of a trend. Sales of guns in the United States rose 40% last year. This is a staggering number. More than 39,695 and 315, thousand guns were sold. Almost 40 million guns last year. That's outrageous.
Yes, anyway. It is. And speaking of outrageous, okay, so here's that anti-vaxxers. How anti-vaxxers sound to the rest of us. I once almost choked to death while eating food. I did my own research, and I discovered that I am not alone. Thousands of people choke every year while eating, and hundreds of those people die. That's why I don't feed my kids. It's dangerous. Now, plenty of people will point out that food supposedly prevents starvation, and that might be true, but it's not fair to completely ignore all the dangers that food poses, like choking, allergies, gingivitis, and garlic breath. I'm just saying, do your own research and decide what you think is best for your kids. If you choose to give your kids potentially deadly food, that's your problem. But as a parent, I don't think the government has any right to tell me what I need to feed my kids. Damn it. Great, huh?
So anyway, you could share that, guys, if anybody out there says to you, hey, you're going to get Alzheimer's or whatever,
Right.
And also you can encourage them to say, hey, listen, if you don't do it, at least Amazon Prime Days are officially here this year, and they will be on this year. It's June 21st and June 22nd. So save up your money, get your credit cards ready. Amazon Prime Day is just right around the corner, and it'll be in time. So you guys that live in California, we have a few people in California here. What's going on with this drought? It says that the drought in California right now is at an emergency level. Also, here in Nevada, Mike Brown might know something about this. Not that he's drinking a lot of water or anything like that, but Lake Mead now is at the lowest point it's been since they filled it in when they built the Hoover Dam. Mm-hmm. So what's going on?
No rain. It's real simple.
It drizzled. It drizzled for a while yesterday, right?
Yeah,
or the day before.
Well,
but that was a tease.
Yeah, up here in Northern California, we count on that snowpack, and we got 30 to 35% of the snowpack required in a given year. So it's melting off. It's going right out of the reservoirs down into the ground, into drinking water or irrigation. They're going to start doing pumping from ground sources for the Central Valley to keep food going, but that has its own issues. It's just typical in California, and part of the issue is we increased our population, but we haven't increased the amount of water storage, and there's a lot of reasons for that without going too deep into that rabbit hole. But the bottom line is people need water, and we need water to grow food, but our supply hasn't changed since 1972.
It's amazing to me that California hasn't been the leader in desalination like Israel. You know, Israel's in the middle of a desert, and yet they're finding enough water to feed all of their people
Well,
through.
We have 2 plants, and they're about to start on a third if it gets voted for. But the big problem is all the people that don't want anything for some ecological reason say that pumping all the salinated water, which is the result of reverse osmosis, is polluting the ocean. So, you know, there's a downside to everything. They just got to pick the lesser of the evils and shut up and go with it, you know?
Well, so what do they do with the salt? Because I heard different things about desalinization, and you end up with piles of salt that you don't know, you can't do anything with.
I have I have a reverse osmosis in my house, which takes out all that stuff. And it washes out with the wastewater, which is like a minute amount per gallon, you know? And what they're doing with it in the ocean, of course, is, you know, like 100 gallons goes in and 2 gallons of really salinated water goes back into the ocean. So, you know.
Got it.
I recommend using the salt to salt our meats instead of refrigeration, and we will save a lot of money on that.
Well, that might be an option, is to process it all, you know, take it out of the water and process it all. So who knows, you know? Then they could stop mining for it, which is a group of people don't want to mine for anything, you know. But so
First question is that has the salt density in the ocean increased over the past years? You know, because we have the issue about, you know, polar ice caps melting, but pretty much that's all, you know, most of the ice is clean water, and the salt water comes up that, you know, it's salt water bonds with it and causes it when the temperature drops. But the question is do we have higher salt content in the ocean? And then what to do with salt is there any way, have anybody come up with a plan to use salt as a storage for electricity? Is a base there to make batteries, a salt storage battery in the ground or whatever outside?
Before we answer that question, I'd like to get high with you, Kenny, and ask you, what is the meaning of life? I think that would be a fun conversation, you know, but I'd have to be really high at the time, you know? So the meaning of life.
I can go get the bottle and we can start.
I like that sweet tea. I wish you'd send me the recipe of that. That was good. It's good stuff. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things going on. And meanwhile, we're heading to Venus again. We're going to be circling the moon. You know, with space stations, and you know, and they think you know, that they might have found some life on Mars. You know, plus all of these, you know, right now they're now releasing all this confidential information about UFOs. So we might not be alone. You know, we might not be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to hear a really funny bit about that, Bill Hicks, who is now no longer with us, you can Google Bill Hicks bit on aliens visiting the Earth. And it is hilarious. It is very, very funny. Anyway, we got some upcoming shows that we should talk about, and I'll just rattle them off, and then we'll open a conversation. So right now, Bill de Blasio and Clive Davis are planning a Central Park mega concert to celebrate New York City's reopening. The Foo Fighters announced that they're going to be playing Madison Square Garden next month. PCB Entertainment is putting on the Pepsi Gulf Jam Country Festival in Panama City, Florida. And that's this week, June 4th to June 6th. So actually it just happened. Then the Eagles now are going back on the road doing another Hotel California, and they're relaunching at Madison Square Garden. They've added 6 dates now. I don't know how many dates. Dead Mouse, he starts on the DJ, I believe, starts July 1st with 2 nights in Aspen, and then he goes to the Dome in Atlanta. There's 200 plus EDC lineup was announced for October 22nd and 24th. And Ken, you normally do that show, right? And then the Black Crows are going out on the road. Alanis Morissette's going on the road. Slipknot, Killswitch, Engage, more hitting. They're doing the Knots Fest Road Show. D-Nice just announced that he's going out on the road. July 30th, the Newport Jazz Festival is back, topped by Winston Marsalis and Shorty and Andrea Day. and New York City Capital One program. Summer Stage announces in-person program for programming. And of course, we have Coachella. So there is a lot going on. How are you guys being affected by this?
I would be quick to point out that, number one, the Foo Fighters concert at Madison Square Garden is soon. It's on June 20th, okay, 11 days from today. And I just reading now that the audience has to show proof of being fully vaccinated within at least 14 days before the event. So that's a vaccinated audience, fully vaccinated audience for the Foo Fighters at Madison Square Garden on June 20th. And the other thing is I heard Bruce Springsteen is going back to Broadway starting in July.
So there are a lot of shows. How are you guys being affected by this? Is anybody, I mean, Kenny, you're busy. What's happening? I mean, Steve Sluter's not here today, so he's working. Brian Scott from North Carolina, he's working. A lot of, a lot of people I'm talking to now are starting to get super busy here in the United States. So what are you guys seeing out there?
Well, I may or may not be selling a couple of servers to one of those tours that you mentioned.
That's good.
I can either confirm or deny that.
Well, it's okay. Basically what's happening with you, the 3D environment or the artificial intelligent environment was really important during the pandemic when we were all sheltered. But it seems now that there is an actual use for that now that we're coming back to live.
Well, actually, for this particular case, they're not doing virtual. This is just putting pixels onto a lot of big screens. So it's what we were doing in 2019, which I actually find more exciting just from the aspect of doing live events and then coming back around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris, we just had our VX4 go out for about 10 weeks, but I don't actually know what it's for because we rented it to another staging company. So
no, without the RX.
Yeah, just the VX. So it's either 10 weeks of corporate or 10 weeks of music. But
I think I know where you rented it, and it's just 2D plate.
That's what I'm guessing. Yeah,
rather than English.
That's good, but at least it's working and he's making money, and that's what counts.
Oh, absolutely.
Ken, didn't you tell me you got some Ken Newman? Didn't you say that you finally got some shows booked now?
Well, I have a load in towards the end of July and at Javits, so I guess the New York Auto Show is happening at Javits because I'm doing a pre-rig towards the end of July for the Subaru booth.
Good. And Bruce, what about you, Bruce Vallis? What's going on with you?
I just did a studio gig that ended this morning, which is the reason why I was a little late. In 2 weeks, I head to Austin for 4 days for the Builders Awards, which will be our first of many shows live, back to live again, according to what they're telling us, which is almost one a month. Oddly enough, I World Stage called me for October, so I got a week in October. Guess who that is?
Yeah, Kenny? That's got to be Milken. That's
yes.
Milken, right?
Are you doing the? Are you on it?
No, I'm banned. I'm banned from Milken. I'm not allowed.
Who'd you piss off?
Who do you think? Who do you think? I'll give you two guesses.
Well, let you guys take that offline. I don't want to know. Just remember, everything you hear is an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. And children of all ages, it's an opinion.
Something
that show, Ken.
Got some pencils in the fall for sure, but they're the only ones I got 100% on so far. So there's light at the end of the tunnel, it seems to be.
All right. Now, how are the orders coming in from the manufacturer side? Are you seeing more orders now? Kelly and Don?
It's exciting. Let's just put it that way. And I can't talk about which ones, but two of those tours that you were talking about, we got, which is great for Electrosonics because we're always considered for broadcast. But the orders are coming in crazy, and customers are starting to open the doors. I'll be in New York City next week, doing the thing.
So Kelly, is it for ear monitors, the Electrosonics on a tour, or is it for microphones? Ear monitors,
both.
Both. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Wow. Good for you.
Yep. Thank you.
Well, when you say microphones, you mean you mean the transmitters.
Yeah, the handheld. The new digital stuff from Electrosonics is doing exceptionally well, and we've the Duet in-ears, which are digital. Two of the tours, it actually started with those conversations and then led to the wireless mics as well.
So you're making a wireless mic now as well? That's not just the electronics for it?
Electrosonics, we've always made wireless microphones.
Very cool.
Well, like a handheld that has the transmitter and the mic in one thing.
Yeah. No, we're known for the plug-on from the old days.
Sure.
Of the,
Right.
for news. But no, we make handheld microphones. You see them all the time on shows. You
I
don't see them on the award shows because Sennheiser and Shure are always battling that out. That sort of thing. But we're definitely becoming a player.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another breaking news moment here on this show. Unbelievable. On this meeting.
Are you at liberty to tell us what tours the stuff is going on? No? Okay.
No, we'll just watch it because we'll know that they're not Sennheiser.
I'm sure you'll have a press release at some point because they'll be very proud of it.
One of them is very, very, very big.
Well, it's very good because you make great product. I mean,
it's if you want the best quality, you get Electrosonics, right?
Yeah,
I mean, best audio quality, best RF quality.
I mean, everything. I remember you taking me into the Hard Rock in that showroom where they were one of the first people to use that, and they were just like ecstatic about how the quality of that.
Yeah, rating the rock ball. We did that for years.
That was very, very impressive. Yeah. So, who else wants to share anything right now before I bring up the next subject? With all these tours, Ken Porter, what do you got? Oh, there you go, Don. Good.
So the is my
sounds like you've got a intermittent connection or something.
It sounds like you're on Star Trek right now when you're beaming in.
All right.
Bruce,
Bruce, to answer your question, yes, and yes, it's going really well. I've taken 3 orders while I was on the phone with you today, so it's going very well. Very happy that our industry is coming back to life. It's like 0 to 100 here in Vegas. Everybody's excited and I'm excited too, so it's good. I had a pretty strong April and May was better, but June is just roaring back. So very good.
Yeah. And Ron up in Canada, if you're still listening, this is what you could expect as well. Because as soon as it starts coming back, I think it's coming back in force, like it's never come back, in our lifetimes, on how many people really do want to work and how many people do want to buy tickets, because it seems everything that goes out on sale right now is selling out. Which brings us to the next subject, is about the cost of everything going up. Basically, if you go around the country and you see what the prices of gas are, it changes from state to state and city to city. Historically speaking, gas in Las Vegas has been anywhere from like $2.25 to about $3.10 at the very highest over the years. And right now, Sam's Club is selling gas, I believe, at $2.95 a gallon, whereas the rest of the city seems to be selling gas now at $3.55. That's for unleaded gasoline. Of course, you guys in California are saying, "Wow, is that cheap?"
I saw. On the west side, it was $5.10 or something like that. So Culver City area, I saw it.
Well, yeah, if you go right by the freeway or something, they want to get you. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's in the for the lowest octane. It's just over $4, it seems.
Yeah, about a little over 4.
But here's my point of the story is that at Sam's Club yesterday, I tried to get there early in the morning. I couldn't get there early in the morning. And then I had some time and I was talking on the phone. So I said, well, I know this call is going to take some time. So I was able to sit at the gas station. But the line I got on was pretty quick. But the line next to me, they had to have about 20 cars in the other lines. And it was crazy, just to say 50 cents.
You have the gas shortage in 1975 or something like that, right? When you lined up for gas.
Yeah, and it's just because people want to save the money. Bruce, what's going on?
So my experience price-wise in the last 48 hours is my American tickets for Austin. I usually go to Austin 3 or 4 times a year. This ticket was about 25% higher for coach, and my parking spot at LAX that I usually leave my car is probably another 25% higher. And we just rented a car for the week down there, and the rental car, the Malibu, it wasn't even a Suburban. The Malibu was $700 for the week because they don't have.
Yeah, the rental cars are out of friggin' control.
Yeah, Bruce, parking is out of control too.
My wife listens to investor meetings a lot. She's a member of the Fools, and she said one of the things they were talking about is all the rental car companies, when COVID took over, they sold off all their stock, all their extra, I guess. I'm sure they kept a few, but they sold off tons of stuff. And so they're way under prepared for what's going to happen here in the next couple of months if we start ramping up again. But my God, our Malibu was 700 for 5 days. It was just ridiculous.
And so Bruce, so your rate has gone up 25% consequently, right? So you'd be able to make 25% more, right?
You know what's funny?
Joking.
I have people trying to get me to lower my rate slightly because of the way things are. And then 2 people actually sent me request for proposals and had my rate, without me even asking, bumped substantially. So, there's both ends of the.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So I accepted, I made a couple calls first to see if it was like, we want to hire you for this exorbitant amount of money to because we're going to screw you royally.
We're going to abuse you, right? Yeah, right.
So,
awesome.
Yeah. So we'll see what really happens. My clients, I'm still the same rate. That hasn't been a problem at all. But, when you start dealing with AV companies and production companies, who knows?
Bruce, Paul Wallace here.
Hi, Paul. I'm coming to your neighborhood, buddy.
I know you're coming to my hood, man.
We're coming to the
We'll
Marriott.
have to go out for barbecue or something. What's this builders thing you're going to?
Well, for a couple times a year, people build houses all over the country for the most part. So they have associations of architects and builders, mostly builders, like Lennar and, all that sort of thing. And they're all a member of these associations. And when there's a convention, like you go to the convention center to see a convention of cars or whatever, well, these guys do, windows and doors and shingles and door locks and sinks and everything you can imagine. They usually attach a builders association award show to that convention. And it's the regional association giving out interior decorating, all based on size of the house, external landscaping and, all that stuff. But usually each award show is about 40 to 70 awards, depending on how many things that they're judging and how old the association has been doing this. Because the 2 big ones I do, I've been doing it since the early 90s, and they were doing it even before I got involved. And
It's
some
not
of them,
a
like this year,
BHI. Is it BHI?
the one in
Austin, is it BHI?
you know what, I have to look because
That's who I work for. That's my number
really?
one client is BHI.
Well, the
Builders-
20
Builder Homesite International, which
I'll
is
have- I'll-
also BDX.
Yeah, I'll have to look because I don't pay attention to all the letters because I just work with my client who does all of that. So,
Let me know. Drop me a line or something, okay, Bruce?
yeah.
We'll have
So
to-
we're at the Marriott. The show's on the 26th.
Yeah, I'm just a few blocks from there.
Oh, cool.
And lunch is on Paul, everybody. So if you're in the sound of our, they'll set it up. You come in next week. They'll have a time and place, and you could Zoom bomb their lunch actually in their real life.
Dan arranges all these things for me.
Yes.
I'm so grateful to him
Oh,
for
while
doing
we're
that.
on now, I'll poke into my file and see if it says what it actually is yet. So I'll take a look.
While you're doing that, I wanted to show you something as well, because basically I'm going to share my screen now. Thanks. Ken Newman has got me excited about screen sharing, which I don't normally do. But basically, if you look at this now, home prices, I'm going to scroll down. Building a home in the United States has never been more expensive, and they break it down into what the pricing is here and how it's going up. And if you look at it, the price of copper per ton is going up. Everything's going up except for what right over here. Lumber is now starting to drop a little bit, but I think what's going to happen is basically the builder selling price includes, and it's all over the country that it's all over the country that the cost of home building is going up. The cost of everything is going up because basically manufacturers went about 10 years ago, I would guess, to the just-in-time manufacturing mode. And then now with COVID, there was no buying, so there was no just-in-time, and people were let go and things slowed down. And now the country is gearing up, but the manufacturers probably cannot hold on, guys. We're gonna have to
Demo
Yeah.
4KA.
let's
Boot him.
Boot
Demo. Get right out of it. Hit delete on demo.
I got it. He's out.
Oh my God, that was disgusting, Jan. How could you allow that? I know you didn't allow it.
I didn't allow it, but it's amazing how people, what they think about it. And I just reported him as well. Okay, so he's been blocked, and
That's great.
Sorry about that, guys.
So anyway, it sounds like the supply chains are severely challenged, and everything, all the supplies for doing anything, and so therefore we as consumers are paying the price because the supply chains don't have enough supplies for the demand that's increasing every day.
Well, here's the question. Now, when it comes back to normal, are they going to drop their prices back? That's the question.
No, you said, just like you said last week, once you raise the price, it's not going to go back down. There's no going back down. Once you raise the price, it stays there.
The price of wood is coming down a little too. It's really that there are no more truck drivers. They've all found something else to do, so no one's delivering the goods either. But the prices will come down. They may not come back to where they were, but you saw it on the chart for lumber. It'll come back. Gas will go back down.
A lot of it is shipping issues, because like I had Baltic birch went up $20 a sheet, and most of it was all over shipping costs coming from boat shipping and costs, because they're charging now a longer time on the water because of fuel costs there, and then when they can get into ports, and they're even charging people for waiting time, rental time on the containers there. So it's running prices up pretty exponentially.
I wonder if that's related at all to that canal challenge that happened a while back. Remember that canal, that giant ship was holding up all kinds of other ships for a long time?
They said definitely that affects worldwide.
But for how long, I wonder? That was a while ago.
Yeah. Well,
LA ports still aren't caught up from that yet. It's just a mess.
So I got another question for you guys. Talked about world stages earlier. Are they related to worldwide stages? There was an announcement.
You mean the company World Stage? What World Stage is World Stage? Worldwide Stage, different company.
There's a new thing called Worldwide Stages that has bought the administration, whatever, the building down at the Saturn plant down south of town, and they're doing a production facility, leaving studios, all sorts of stuff down there. And I didn't know if that was tied into the same thing or not, same people.
That would be negative.
Good question. I don't think so, though.
Nah, I think it's a different company.
Well, this is a new one they're putting up. Now, the other one, speaking of stuff, I don't know if you guys know, Dave, has anybody seen anything about Gateway Studios and Production Services that's open in St. Louis?
No.
Well, their website's GSPS, and I didn't know if you guys knew, Dave Haskell that I've dealt with here at Rand Morris here for years is on the executive team, but they hired Jerry Kerr, Andy Gerber, Jesse Sandler, and Dave Haskell are kind of running the company, and they've been hiring people right and left, buying stuff. They're supposedly going to have lighting rigs on the road in August on tours and stuff already. And I didn't know if anybody's run into them or talked anything about them yet.
Well, I think it would be great to have Dave on the show here, have him join in the meeting. Did you, maybe next week you could think about it and invite him in and he could be part of the group.
Yeah, I forgot to get you to send me the link.
Oh, well, there you go. It's always my fault. Thank you.
No, and you didn't do it, but anyway.
Actually, that's really cool. Listen, one thing before we go, I got a letter from Michael Strickland, and Bobby Schneider has been on our panel, and Chris Musgrove has been on our panel a lot. But basically, as the shutdown eases and we get back to work, we most focus on health and wellness of our community. And you might remember I did mention that in the beginning. And then says, please join us and record a video for public service announcement. All members of the community are encouraged to participate. We are in this life together. Get off your phone and record yourself saying the line below. Be creative as you want to be in your natural environment, but don't introduce yourself, face and voice are enough. And basically, all he wants us to say is, I stand for health and wellness of my industry. And as I agree, I would do that. And I would say if we could just, I'll switch this over to a gallery view, and we could all say the same thing. I stand for health and wellness in my industry. And then I will take this part of it, if it's okay with everybody, and then I will submit this, and without our names or anything like that. Of course, it'll be Zoom, but if you guys want to do that, we can do that. What do you think? All right.
Are we going to all try to say it together?
Well, I think at the count of 3, we say, I stand for health and wellness of my industry. What do you think?
Been trying.
Oh, wait. Ray Harris is coming in the room. I want Ray in here.
I think
the
the
we should
audio will be
rehearse it.
terrible.
We should definitely rehearse it.
Everybody talking at once.
Yeah, the
All right,
audio
I'll
is
tell
going to
you
be
what
really.
we're gonna do.
The
I'll
audio
tell
is
you
going
what
to be
we're
Zoom
gonna-
audio.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. Now that we've said this, let's go off of YouTube. Let's stop the YouTube feed and the Facebook, and we'll do it from here. And then it won't be on YouTube and Facebook. I'll post it up. So basically, if you had the opportunity to be in this panel right now, you would have the opportunity right now to be part of the I Stand for Health and Wellness and go out to the industry. So basically, remember, if you like the show, give it a thumbs up. I'm not going to say if you didn't like it, give the thumbs up. But what I really like you to do is participate. Come and join us. There's a Zoom link, as you know, that guy, I can't pronounce his name, came in and shared his porno collection with us. It's always exciting when that happens, unfortunately. But hey, I've hit the big time. I've hit the big time.
Yeah,
And,
especially when it's gay porno. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fortunately I only got to see a little bit of it because I was focusing on getting him out of the room. And
Yeah,
so
I was appalled by
I saw more than I wanted to see.
Yeah.
My eyelids burned right through. Yeah.
Well, it's something you're going to try to forget immediately. That's
I
all.
didn't see it, Jan, so I can't unsee it now.
Good. That's
I don't
good.
have to
You are
unsee
one of the luckiest people in the room,
I
Paul.
was distracted
Anyway,
opening Amazon packages, so I lucked out.
Anyway, if you like the show, give it a thumbs up. Leave us a comment in the comment section, a nice comment, and we'll be again here next week at 12 noon. And until then, stay safe, and stay healthy, and be happy. And remember, you make it happen. So, bye, people.